and this is something which has personified itself today. All the people, all the eyes now on the Pran Prathishtha ceremony, and everyone.
And before I bring in Abhishek, I want to cut across to Polami Saha. Polami, Sri Ram coming home with his Pran Pratishtha taking place of the Vigraha at the Abhijit Muhurt. It's a very specific time, but the guests have already started coming in, and this is a moment where everybody, including the Indian Air Force, are involved, and the Dogra Regimental Centre Band. Tell us more about the preparations, this last-minute preparations that are underway, and the role of our forces.
That's right. In fact, it's a very elaborate ceremony. Some of the details, of course, which we've been sharing with our viewers over the course of the last couple of weeks, which we've gathered from our sources. But in a short while from now, at 10 a.m. this morning, the first thing begins, which is the Mangal Dhwani. The Mangal Dhwani, which will go on for 2 hours. 50 instruments, musical instruments from across various states of the country will be played in unison, in harmony, as of course, the orchestra is led by Yatendra Mishra, who in fact is a scholar from Ayodhya, who knows a lot about Ayodhya, its ethos, its culture. He will be leading this orchestra, and supporting him will be the Sangeet Natak Academy in Delhi. But already musical performances are here, and they're underway since early this morning. These are performers who have been braving the morning cold of Ayodhya and have been performing all through. But you know what is very interesting on this entire stretch is the thoroughfare of the VVIP cars that is constantly making its way towards the Ram Janmabhoomi Sthan. You can see all of those vehicles because they have to be in time and be seated. They were given time of about 8:30 a.m. this morning, so they're all rushing in because the Mangal Dhwani begins at 10 a.m. After which, of course, there will be the process of the Pran Pratishtha, the ceremony. The Pran Pratishtha, which will start, the rituals will start at 12:05 p.m. The Prime Minister will be arriving though at 10:45 p.m. at the Maharishi Valmiki International Airport, Ayodhya Dham. He will arrive over there and he will be making his way eventually to the temple, but the rituals begin at 12:05 p.m. at 12:20 being the Abhijit Muhurt, when of course the Pran Pratishtha takes place. But the entire process will last from 12:05 p.m. to 12:55 p.m. after which the Prime Minister will move out of the Sanctum Sanctorum, the Garbhagriha, and arrive at the venue inside the Mandir complex of the address. He will be addressing this gathering, which will be there, of all the guests who will be there, and then proceeding from there after an hour's time, which has been allotted for this. He will proceed by 2:15 p.m. to the Kuber Tila, to the restored Lord Shiva temple, again in the Mandir complex, to do darshan and puja, and he'll be wrapping up his day and taking off from Ayodhya at 3 p.m. this afternoon. And like you said,
I also want to bring in Abhishek into this conversation, and it's absolutely spellbinding, these images that we see at the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Ayodhya. And while we wait for the Rajabhishek, when the Sri Ram Darbar comes up, Abhishek, we are talking about the Pran Pratishtha and the Abhijit Muhurt. Exactly 12:29 and 8 seconds. This was very carefully chosen, this auspicious time. Tell us about the VVIPs who have already started coming from 8 in the morning, and by 10:30 they all need to be seated, Abhishek.
Well, absolutely, Gaurav, and that is why, we have seen the movement on the roads at the Ram Path. I've taken a full ride from the point where it began, crossing all the way to the Ram Janmabhoomi and to the last point, which is the Lata Chowk. A lot of VIPs we have witnessed are still on the roads because 8,000 invitees for this event, and the administration is making sure that everybody enters the premises on time, and that is why there is a lot of movement. Let me show you the visuals once again, because CM Yogi Adityanath has just reached the Ram Janmabhoomi premises. They have entered from the same gate. Now, where we are standing, this is the key entry point. all the VVIPs who are coming from the airport from the side of Saket point, they are coming and they are entering from this gate. And this straight, hardly 1.5 kilometers leads to the Ram Janmabhoomi Parisar, the premises where the actual ceremony is about to begin. So that is what is happening right now. And if I talk about all these VVIPs, we have seen, the cavalcade and their vehicles getting into the premises. So they all are being asked to be seated by 10:30, and that's why even 10 before, because Prime Minister will land at 10:25, and we are expecting him to reach the Ram Janmabhoomi at 10:45. So 20 minutes of gap, and then he will be there. He will be having a look of the whole premises, the Grand Temple, which has been inaugurated. He will have close watch to the every aspect and element of that temple, and then afterwards 12 in the afternoon, the actual Pran Prathishtha ceremony, that ritual will begin. And you rightly put it out about the 84 seconds, very auspicious seconds, very important muhurta, because it's been said that on the Chaitra Navami in the Treta Yuga, on that particular day, Ram was born in the afternoon. That is the only reason that muhurta has been chosen, has been taken, and for that moment. So
Abhishek, stay with me. So we are getting you a pulse from ground. We are also getting you experts, what they feel about this Shubh Muhurt. And apart from the Shubh Muhurt, the Pran Prathishtha that is taking place, the civilizational glory for Bharat that returns. I have Acharya Nandita Pandey joining me on the broadcast, a Vedic scholar. I'm Professor Sundar Narayan. Professor Sundar Narayan is a professor of Vedic studies. And apart from being a professor of Vedic studies, he is from Mithilanchal. तो आज तो सीता जी के घर से भी हमारे पास we have experts on this special broadcast. But I want to begin by asking you, Acharya Pandey, what does this moment actually mean to you as an individual and for Bharatvarsh?
I think this is a glorious moment, and it's coming after 500 years. So earlier also I was saying that I'm actually having goosebumps. I mean, words are failing to express my happiness and my gratitude towards the entire scenario that is happening to me. It's a moment of realization. It's a moment of reckoning that, like we say, kan kan mein Ram. So that Ram is being jagrat now. He's being energized. He's actually reaching to his own place, his birthplace, which is like, from where the divine energies will be infused in his idol. And from there onwards, the entire nation as such will be in that Maryada Purushottam Ram Rajya status. So we are looking forward to that also, because this is a beginning which is also be hopefully the beginning of Ram Rajya as expected.
So the beginning of Ram Rajya is how you see this. Professor Saab,
yes.
This Shubh Muhurt of 84 seconds, iska vishesh mahatva, what's the significance of this moment?
देखिए, ये अभिजीत मुहूर्त कहलाता है
जी।
अभिजीत मुहूर्त जो है वो कुछ 48 मिनट का एक मुहूर्त होता है। तो वो 48 मिनट का जो समय है, उस बीच में जो शुद्ध समय है, उस समय को चुना गया है कि इस समय में भगवान का नेत्रोन्मीलन होगा। तो ये मुहूर्त जो है वो हम लोगों के जो ज्योतिष शास्त्र हैं, उस ज्योतिष शास्त्र में मुहूर्तों के बारे में जो चर्चा की गई, उसमें अभिजीत मुहूर्त का बड़ा ही महत्व है। और गोस्वामी जी ने लिखा भी है कि मधुमास पुनीता अभिजीत हरि प्रीता। तो अभिजीत मुहूर्त जो हरि अर्थात भगवान विष्णु को प्रिय मुहूर्त है, उस मुहूर्त में राम जी का जन्म हुआ था, इसीलिए उसी मुहूर्त को चुना गया है।
Abhijit Muhurt.
Yeah, it also means something that cannot be destroyed. So ye Muhurt, basically it is starting from 11:51 to 12:32. But the ideal, that time 84 seconds is so important, because at that time all the planetary positions, even in the Shashtansh, they are just aligning with the supreme divine cosmic blessings that would come down here today on this Ayodhya Nagari. So that's the reason those 84 seconds have been chosen for. But Abhijit Muhurt is a beautiful Muhurt, and plus today is Kurma Dwadashi. So Kurma Dwadashi means the Kurma is again a Vishnu avatar.
Correct.
So it's a beautiful culmination of time, and you know, it's like a historic moment that has been chosen right now.
Actually, a civilizational moment, you know, that this is
Yes.
for Bharat. And I want to quickly cut across to Manoj Muntashir, who joins us on this special broadcast. And Manoj, everyone's saying Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. And in this moment, how do you see this Pran Prathishtha and what this means for Bharatvarsh? We're looking at images of that Divya Bhavya Ram temple on our television screens. Manoj Muntashir.
The Ram Rajya has already begun. Now we have to take it to another level. And what is so great about this Pran Prathishtha and about the Sri Ram Mandir temple, which has just been given to us, it is acting as an epicenter of cultural unity. So the country has united across faiths, across religions, across states, across languages. Everyone is delighted that the Pran Prathishtha of Ram Lalla is finally happening. So what I believe, that it is actually going to be a guideline and a guiding light for all of us to follow the footsteps of Lord Sri Rama and convert this entire century, the times that we are living in, into the best times of human era ever.
Oh, truly, this Pran Prathishtha means so much for Bharat. But in your appreciation, as many in Ayodhya were constantly telling me in the past 1 month, that this is for Bharat a civilizational moment. This is actually the beginning of Ram Rajya, or at least an effort towards that. Is that also your feeling? Is that also your perception?
Oh my God, since last 500 years. 5 centuries, can you believe it? And if you just look back at the recent past, if I do not take you to the times of Babur, let's forget that. So 1895, first time the petition was filed in the court of law that this land should be given to Hindus as it is the Janmabhoomi of our Lord Sri Ram. And 2019, the verdict came from Honorable Supreme Court that yes, this is Ram Janmabhoomi. So from 1885 to 2019, can you believe how much time has passed? 134 years. So 134 years we kept waiting for this day, and finally when this day has arrived, my joy knows no boundaries, and I do not know what to say. For the first time I'm speechless.
Oh, absolutely. All across Ayodhya, there are people who were telling me that words fail them. They just don't seem to realize that it's actually happening and happening in our lifetimes. But what does this Pran Prathishtha, and while the believers love this, okay, let's look at these images of Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Live images that are coming in. The Chief Minister there interacting with the VVIPs and the dignitaries in various enclosures. Remember, there are various enclosures there at the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi, a special stage, a special deck only for the 4,000, close to 4,000 saints and seers and 3,000 plus Ganmanya Vyakti or VVIPs. So multiple decks at the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra. And when you look at the temple, it's divine. It's truly divine. And the way it's been decked up in flowers today. That's exactly why these lines become so important. Avadhpuri ati ruchir banai, devan sumana jhari lagai. It just shows Professor Narayan ki किस तरह से देवता इस समय पुष्पांजलि अर्पित कर रहे हैं या पुष्प वर्षा कर रहे हैं इस समय अवधपुरी पर.
देखिए, अथर्ववेद के 10वें कांड में एक मंत्र आता है
जी.
अष्टाचक्रा नवद्वारा देवानां पूरयोध्या तस्याम हिरण्ययः कोशः स्वर्गो ज्योतिषावृतः. यह जो अयोध्या है, इसकी चर्चा अथर्ववेद में हुई है. इसका मतलब है कि यह अयोध्या पुरी बहुत ही पुरानी पुरी है और ये देवताओं की पूरी कही गई है वहाँ। अष्टाचक्रा नवद्वारा, 8 चक्र और 9 द्वार कहे गए हैं उस जगह पर मंत्र में। और वह ज्योतिषावृत नाना प्रकार के प्रकाशों से वो आवृत है, ढका हुआ है, मतलब चारों तरफ प्रकाश ही प्रकाश है। प्रकाश हम कहते हैं ज्ञान को, ज्ञान से भरा हुआ वह नगर।
और देखिए वो मैं आपको वो इंक्लोजर दिखा रहा हूँ, वो संतों के लिए एक पूरा अलग बनाया गया है वहाँ पर। और अब उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ सभी संतों से बातचीत करने के लिए जा रहे हैं, ऋषि मुनियों से बातचीत करने के लिए जा रहे हैं। और अभिषेक, the chief minister has actually been constantly going and coming from Ayodhya to ensure everything is perfect for this moment. Abhishek.
Well, absolutely, you know, and this it is an amalgamation of a lot of things which is happening today. We have seen on the ground from a very long time that for this particular day, Ayodhya has been transformed. It is not just about, you know, the roads or some kind of beautification which has been done, but the sentiment of everyone here voluntarily participating in every activity. Not just only the way when, you know, there were a lot of things needs to be taken care of when the road work was underway. There were some voices where people were not happy with the fact why this all is happening. But when they understood the fact that it is all required to make this Ayodhya a world-class city, a city which should be a spiritual capital of the world, and they voluntarily started participating. And that's what had actually added on to the transformation Ayodhya has witnessed over the years. And specifically the last few months have been very important. And you know,
absolutely,
we've also seen how there has been a mass participation.
Mass participation is the big point that you're raising here, and we'll talk about that in greater detail as I leave our viewers with these images of Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath greeting all the devotees with that Divya Bhavya Navya Ram temple in Ayodhya ahead of the Pran Prathishtha.
होई है वही जो राम रच राखा, का करी तर्क बढ़ावे साखा। राम सिया राम जय जय राम। अपनी इसी भावना के साथ अनुपम खेर जी अयोध्या में आ चुके हैं। रामलला की धरती पर आकर पहली भावना मन में क्या उत्पन्न हुई?
जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम। आपके सारे दर्शकों को भी भावना अजीब सा एक आत्मविभोर भावना है, नम्रता की भावना है। यहाँ पर जितना भी जो पिछले 30-40 साल में कमाया है वो यहाँ आके लगता है कि जरूरत नहीं है उसके बारे में बात करने की। तो एक प्योरिटी की भावना है, एक जो जिसको राम जी सिग्निफाई करते हैं, त्याग की भावना है। हम में तो नहीं आ सकते, हम तो दुनियावी जीवी हैं, मगर सर झुक के जो एक फीलिंग आती है वैसी भावना है।
आप 3 महीने पहले यहाँ पर आए, हनुमान जी पर एक सीरीज आप कर रहे हैं, और उसके पहले कभी अयोध्या आना आपका नहीं हुआ था?
नहीं, मैं 3 महीने पहले आया था। मैं 21 हनुमान मंदिरों पर एक सीरीज कर रहा हूँ। तो उसका जो उद्घाटन था वो हनुमानगढ़ी से हमने शुरू किया था। मैं जब छोटा था तो दादाजी, जिनका नाम पंडित अमरनाथ जी था, नाम लेना इसलिए जरूरी है क्योंकि उनको अच्छा लगेगा जहाँ कहीं भी वो होंगे, वो बहुत बताते थे अयोध्या के बारे में। बहुत ही एक खास किस्म की उनकी जो प्रवृत्ति थी वो बहुत खूबसूरत थी, बहुत ही आत्मीयता से जुड़े हुए थे। तो वो हमेशा रामायण महाभारत की कहानियां सुनाया करते थे, अयोध्या जाने के बारे में बात करते थे। फिर ये सब विवाद चल रहा था तो मेरा कभी आने का, मैं ये तो नहीं कहूँगा दिल नहीं किया, मगर आना बना नहीं
यहाँ पर।
हाँ, बना नहीं। फिर जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये आज्ञा दे दी कि राम का अस्तित्व है, जो कि एक प्रणाली के थ्रू जाना था, हमारे लिए तो राम का अस्तित्व हजारों सालों से है, हमारे लिए वो कोई कल्पना नहीं है, वो वास्तविकता है। तो फिर आया और इस समय हम इतिहास का हिस्सा हैं। आप, मैं, ये पीछे जो कैमरामैन साहब हैं, ये इतिहास का हिस्सा है। कितने सदियों के बाद, कितने वर्षों के बाद हमको अयोध्या में राम लल्ला को स्थापित करने का ये महाउत्सव जो मनाया जा रहा है, उसको देखने का मौका मिलेगा।
बिल्कुल।
आने वाली पीढ़ियां हमारी जो हैं वो कहेंगी कि हमारे गए थे बुजुर्गवार, उधर थे वहां पर। तो पहले तो हर्षोल्लास की भावना आती है, उसके बाद मैंने बताया ना कि जैसे कि एक ऐसी भावना आती है जिसमें मन शांत सा हो जाता है।
Co-presented by New Kia Sonet, the Wild Reborn. Powered by Rumta Steel TMT Bar. Ekdam solid.
लंबा था बनवास राम का, लेकिन ये विश्वास राम का, सच की तप की जय होती है। जग कर दूर करे अंधियारा, हर छल हर षड्यंत्र है हारा। अच्छाई सच्चाई जीतेगी, घर घर दीप जले हर शाम मनाओ दिवाली। अवध में लौटे हैं श्री राम, मनाओ दिवाली।
And I want to take our viewers to Awadhpuri, which is looking absolutely spellbinding and spectacular. Hello and welcome to an India Today special broadcast on a day of civilizational significance for Bharat. The words Awadhpuri itni ruchir banai, Devan Suman jhari lagai. Those are images that you see on your television screens. The Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath there meeting and greeting the VVIPs who've assembled there at the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi ahead of the Pran Prathishtha. Absolutely spectacular images of the Divya, Bhavya, Navya Ram Temple at Ayodhya. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, of course, will arrive in a short while from now. 12:29 and 8 seconds. That's the Abhijit Muhurt. Now, those two images on your television screens actually tell that big story. That's the Divya, Bhavya, Navya Ram Temple for which followers of the Sanatan Dharma have actually struggled non-stop for over 500 years. And finally, that moment of glory when the Pran Prathishtha will take place. Pran Prathishtha at this Divya Bhavya Ram Temple at Ayodhya. I want to cut across to India Today's Paulami Saha, who joins us from Ground Zero. And Paulami, there is a Chetna in Ayodhya, is what saints and seers we spoke to all along in the past 1 month. Some spiritual energy, and that spiritual energy will be taken altogether to a new height post the Pran Prathishtha? Is that the buzz on ground as a sea of devotees want to reach Ayodhya?
Absolutely, there's definitely some energy over here because you can see on both sides of this road that I'm standing on the number of people who've gathered over here in order to, of course, be a part of this historic moment. They do not get to enter the Ram temple today. They'll wait their turn to enter the Ram temple, but the atmosphere is festive-like over here in Ayodhya. क्या आप अयोध्या से हैं? आप यहीं के हैं या कहीं और से?
उड़ीसा का।
उड़ीसा से हैं?
उड़ीसा से।
उड़ीसा से आए हैं?
उड़ीसा से आ रहे प्रभु रामचंद्र को देखने के लिए।
अच्छा, आप तो फिर जब मंदिर खुलेगा तब देख के जाएंगे?
जब तक मंदिर खुलेगा तब तक हम अप्रोच करेंगे, मंदिर खोल के देख के जाऊंगा।
अच्छा, तो आज के दिन के बारे में क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
आज ही महाप्रभु रामचंद्र का प्राण प्रतिष्ठा होगा, प्रधानमंत्री आएंगे, जोगी साहब आएंगे, सीएम जोगी साहब आएंगे।
आप कैसा महसूस कर रहे हैं?
हमको बहुत अच्छा लगता है, हमारा सीएम नवीन पटनायक भी आ जाएंगे आज।
अच्छा,
जय श्री राम।
आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
आज का बहुत दिन ऐतिहासिक है और जय श्री राम के लिए हम लोग जुलूस में आए हैं और उन्हीं का कृपा से आज सब बहुत।
कहाँ से आए हैं?
हम झारखंड से आए हैं।
झारखंड से आए हैं? इसी दिन के लिए?
इसी दिन के लिए।
अच्छा, इतनी आस्था है आप?
बहुत आस्था है।
क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
मैं पुरी के शंकराचार्य जी का विद्यार्थी परिकर हूँ। चारों शंकराचार्य जी लोग नहीं आए हैं, फिर भी मैं आया हूँ। इस जनता का जो उत्साह है, जनता का जो उल्लास है, आत्मबल है, संतों का अलौकिक दर्शन जो है, उसको मैं लेने के लिए आया हूँ। और इस दर्शन को मैं अपने रोए रोए में संजो लेना चाहता हूँ, जो मेरे जीवन पर्यंत मेरे लिए आत्मबल का काम करेगा, ऊर्जा का काम करेगा। मेरे लिए यह क्षण अद्भुत है, इसको मैं कह नहीं सकता हूँ। जय जगन्नाथ।
आप बताएं, मैम आप कहाँ से आए हो?
हम महाराष्ट्र से आए हैं।
महाराष्ट्र से? अच्छा,
मुंबई से आए हैं।
अच्छा, बताइए आप इसी के लिए आए हैं?
इसी के लिए यही हमारा सपना था और वो आज पूरा हो गया है। हम
अपना देश है ना, अभी विश्व गुरु के राह में चल पड़ा है। ये बहुत शुभ संकेत है कि और हमको बात करने में जो भावना है वो हम शब्दों से प्रकट नहीं कर सकते। इतने अंदर जो चल रहा है कि ये इस साक्षी बन रहे इस बहुत जागतिक, मतलब कलयुग में जो सबसे बड़ा कार्यक्रम है तो ये कार्यक्रम है। तो हम लोग सब भाग्यवान है कि हमारा जो पूर्वजों का कुछ पुण्य ही रहेगा। हम समझते हैं कि वो सेतु के टाइम हम वानर हो गए, इसलिए ये कार्यक्रम में हमको साक्षी मिलने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हुआ। जय सियापति रामचंद्र की।
सेंटिमेंट सिंह, जब सेतु बना होगा हम वानर सेना में रहे होंगे, यही हमारा भाग्य रहा होगा, इसलिए हम आज के दिन यहाँ पर ये दृश्य देखने के लिए मौजूद है। गौरव,
रोम रोमांचित हो जाता है ये सुनकर। दिस इज truly spellbinding and mesmerizing. This is the Astha polemy that has carried this struggle for generations, for 500 years. Nothing could keep devotees down. Stay with me, polemy, as I bring in Abhishek. Abhishek, somebody is from Maharashtra, somebody is from Chhattisgarh, somebody is from Odisha, somebody is from Karnataka. There are devotees who are from Tamil Nadu, and this is what Lord Ram means for Bharatvarsh. He is Maryada Purushottam of our civilization. दबाने की बहुत कोशिश की, आज उदय है.
Absolutely, Gaurav, and you know, it's an amalgamation of culture, amalgamation of languages, amalgamation of, you know, people coming together. And you rightly put it out, we have been witnessing on the ground, you know, southeast, people from the south, from the east, from the west, Maharashtra, West Bengal, even to the, you know, remote places, they have been coming here. And what is important for them, just to be present in this sacred land. Doesn't matter if they will be able to reach to the Ram Janmabhoomi, whether they will be able to reach to any other temple. For them, just to be standing in this sacred land is making them special. And that is why, you know, all these devotees and people who are coming are very keen on their presence for this auspicious day. Let me show you the visuals once again. There is a VVIP movement constantly happening here at the Lata Chowk where we are right now. You see how auspicious day. Let me show you the visuals once again. There is a VVIP movement constantly happening here at the Lata Chowk where we are right now. You see how, all these local people have gathered on the barricades. They just wanted to see Prime Minister Modi when his cavalcade will arrive here. So that is why they're just waiting for that moment. And on the right side of me is the main entrance gate to the Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra, where the actual ceremony is happening. So, everybody here is participating, even if it is here from the Ayodhya or from the outside. They just wanted to be in this land, and that is why a huge mass participation is very much evident everywhere in Ayodhya today. Yes.
पूर्व जन्म में कुछ शुभ कर्म किया होगा. That is what devotees kept telling me throughout when I was in Ayodhya, that we have the blessings of Lord Ram, of Ram Lalla. I have breaking news that's coming in. I quickly want to take that before I come to our guests here in the studio. There's a big story here that we are telling our viewers about. We are telling our viewers about how there is a special copper plate for the Pran Prathishtha. Of course, there are copper murals all across the temples, but details of the rituals that are to be followed in the temple will be in this copper plate for all times to come for devotees. And this copper plate is for the Pran Prathishtha. The details are etched in this copper plate in Sanskrit. Swasti mantra. Swasti mantra. Prayers for well-being of all. Copper plate glorifies mother and motherland. Something that Lord Ram himself had said. There are shlokas from the southern version of the Ramayana also on this. I want to cut across to Polami Saha before I bring in our guest. Polami, Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram unites our civilization. Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram unites our civilization. The opener for all those who said Ram is an Eastern Uttar Pradesh phenomenon.
Absolutely. Today, of course, we're seeing people. We brought you those voices as well. There are several such people who are gathered over here as well. See on both sides of the pavement. Prem will show you the devotion which is out here on the streets of Ayodhya early this morning. And these are people who've been called to have been here this morning to be Sakshi, as they say, witness to a big moment in our civilizational history, of course, that they're part of this, and that is what they want to witness. And they've come from across different parts of the country just for this one day to be here. They do realize that they're not going to get the opportunity to go inside the temple today to be witness to the Pran Prathishtha in person as it happens live, watch it. But they do realize that being here on this day is extremely significant for them. And that's what some of them even spoke about and said that, generations waited to see this day. They left the world waiting to see this day. We may have done something good because it's happened in our time, and we have been
not just in India but across 7 seas. We'll get you those images of celebrations. The Sanatan Dharm followers who are celebrating, whether it's at the Times Square in New York or in Australia, in London or in Germany, in different parts of New York or in Australia, in London or in Germany, in different parts of the world, and we'll get you those images. Now, the President of the United Nations General Assembly, he's arrived in India, and he says, this is second Diwali for Bharat, and it truly is. Deepotsav hoga aaj sham ko, uske bare mein hum aapko batayenge, but for a moment, let's dip in to that Ram Naam in which the entire world, for a moment, let's dip in to that Ram Naam in which the entire world lives by that Ram Naam. Let's listen into the Ram Dhun at the Sri Ram Nagari Ayodhya.
Shri Ramaya Namaha. Swasti Shri Vikram Sambat 2080 शाली वाहन के 1945 में नर्मदोत्तरभागे पिङ्गलनाम्न संवत्सरे पौषशुक्लद्वादश्यां सोमवासरे मृगशीर्ष नवांशे अभिजिन्मुहूर्ते एवं गुणविशेषण विशिष्ट शुभ दिवसे मुक्तिपुर्या अयोध्यायां श्रीराम जन्मभूमौ श्रीराम मन्दिरस्य प्रथमचरणप्रतिष्ठामहोत्सवः सम्पद्यत। बलं विष्णोः प्रवर्धतां योगक्षेमो नः कल्पतां शिवो नः सुमना भव सानो देवी सुहवा शर्म यच्छतु सकलं भद्रमश्नुते सां हि श्रीरमृता सतां रामो विग्रहवान् धर्मः सतां रामो विग्रहवान् धर्मः सीतायाश्चरितं महत जननी जन्मभूमिश्च स्वर्गादपि गरीयसी।
Janani Janmabhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. This is what Lord Ram had told brother Lakshman when Vibhishan had asked him to stay on in Lanka after defeating Ravan. Because remember, Swarnamai Ram had told brother Lakshman when Vibhishan had asked him to stay on in Lanka after defeating Ravan. Because remember, Swarnamai Lakana Rochate Lakshmana Janani Janmabhumischa Swargadapi Gariyasi. Mother and motherland are greater than heaven, and that's exactly, see, mother and motherland are greater than heaven, and that's exactly what we are witnessing today. And we have our guests and our experts who we are witnessing today, and we have our guests and our experts who will tell how auspicious this moment is. Lekin Acharya Nandita, our heart as we look at this beautiful moment that we are true our heart as we look at this beautiful moment that we are truly blessed to witness.
Shri Ramchandra Kripalu Bhaj Mana Harana Bhava Bhaya Kanja Mukh Kar Kanja Pad Kanjavaram. Ram to Rom mein. I'm actually absolutely on that Rammai state. I'm wearing a Krishna pendant. The sari pallu that I have actually depicts Lord Rama's Ishtadevi. So anytime when in Ayodhya any prayers are offered, first the Ishtadevis, the prayers are offered to the Ishtadevi, okay, and then Lord Ram or anyone else's prayers are offered. So overwhelmed by the whole situation.
It truly is an overwhelming moment. We're getting a reaction. Akshay Kumar, film actor Akshay Kumar is reacting. I quickly want to cut across and listen in for a moment. Okay, and Amitabh Bachchan, the superstar of the century, has also arrived at Janmabhoomi. Amitabh Bachchan, and again a devotee of Lord Ram, son of Prayagraj, India's best known poets, Harivansh Rai Bachchan's son. The stuti that Amitabh Bachchan has also sung, the Hanuman Chalisa, is truly spellbinding and mesmerizing. Amitabh Bachchan, you see images of Amitabh Bachchan having arrived here, and this is where you notice that each guest has been very carefully chosen to be there, the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi. Some of the biggest achievers of our country, and I want to cut across to Samarth Srivastava on this. Samarth, I'm told that devotees who are standing on
Well, Gaurav, that's true. I have been reporting we have witnessed these scenes where when we speak to the saints, to the devout Ram Lalla or his temple. I am at the Ram Ki Paidi and have warm welcome to you on India Today. Without wasting time, warm welcome to you on India Today. Without wasting time,
आज आध्यात्मिक और संस्कृति के विजय के दिवस है। आज हर्षित है और राम राज बैठे त्रैलोका हर्षित भय गए सब शोका। शोकहीन हो चुके और अयोध्या हर्षोल्लास के साथ आज़ादी का पर्व मना रही है। आध्यात्मिक जो विजय दिवस है, आज़ादी आज ही मिल रहा है।
आप लोग कुछ गाकर सुनाइए।
हाँ, तो आध्यात्मिक जो विजय दिवस है, आज़ादी आज ही मिल रहा है।
आप लोग कुछ गाकर सुनाइए।
साथ में सभी है और बहुत बड़े यूट्यूबर हमारे साथ राम ध्यान जी और पूज्य हमारे रास्ता आएंगे राम जी सबरी रास्ता रास्ता आएंगे राम जी, राम जी मेरा भी धन्य जीवन, भी धन्य जीवन बनाएंगे राम जी, मेरा भी धन्य जीवन बनाएंगे राम जी, सबरी सवार रास्ता आएंगे राम जी। खास करके ब्रज प्रदेश में जाएंगे तो दंडवत भैया मधुरी वाणी बोले, जय सिया राम दंडवत भैया मधुरी वाणी बोले, जय श्री राम दंडवत भैया मधुरी, जय श्री राम दंडवत भैया मधुरी वाणी बोले, मगन मन गली गली में डोले, गली गली मागे मस्तानी लागे, मोहे मीठो मीठो सरयू जी की पानी, मीठो सरयू जी की पानी लागे,
धानी लागे मोहे मीठो मीठो।
चंद्र की जय।
Puri, Prince's name always comes first, and we'll tell you why. The significance of Siyavara Ramachandra ki jai. But I quickly want to cut across, and Uttar Pradesh Chief Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh Sar Sangchalak Mohan Bhagwat, whose Manor Bhav or his words are from with the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, and of course Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
नमस्ते। हो गया था ना आपका जो बहुत नहीं मैं तो हूँ यहाँ पे, आपके सारे लोग जमे हैं यहाँ। हो गया था ना आपका जो बहुत
दर्शकों को जय श्री राम।
जय श्री राम, जय श्री राम।
Images on your television screen, Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath in conversation is the RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat, who's also arrived. And in a short while from now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi here. We will tell you this story about how, when, and the Prime Minister then as a Karyakarta of the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Prime Minister then as a Karyakarta of the Bharatiya Janata Party and the when will you come here next? He said, and agli baar tab aunga jab mandir banega. And various towns and cities across eastern Uttar Pradesh, but he's come to Ayodhya when this Divya Bhavya Ram temple is into Ayodhya, when this Divya Bhavya Ram temple is in. Professor Saab, ये जो सुंदर वेला, पावन वेला इस समय हम इस प्रोफेसर साहब ये जो रहे हैं,
देखिए हमारे जो वैष्णव धर्म के सम्राट रहे हैं, देखिए हमारे जो वैष्णव धर्म के सम्राट ने अवधपुरी के बारे में जो वर्णन किया है वो भजन ही ये निकट सरयुग श्री गंग ब्रह्म है, श्री राम जी पूरा माता सीता का जो संयोग है जी, वह उनके पूर्णता की नामकरण सीता क्यों हुआ, इस विषय में वेदों में नामकरण सीता क्यों हुआ, इस विषय में वेदों में कहा गया जी। और हम सब जानते हैं कि जब जनक जी के जी, और हम सब जानते हैं कि जब जनक जी के वर्षों तक वहाँ पर्जन्य देव वृष्टि नहीं किए, सूखाग्रस्त जी, तब यह ज्योतिषियों ने, भूगर्भ शास्त्रियों ने कहा कि अगर राजा स्वयं हल यहाँ जोतें तो यहाँ वर्षा हो सकती है। उसको सीता यज्ञ का नाम दिया गया है, पारस्कर गृह सूत्र। तो वह जो हल है, उस हल के जोतने से ही सीता जी धरती से उत्पन्न हुई थी, इसलिए उनका नामकरण सीता किया गया था, क्योंकि सीता हल का नाम है और हल के कर्षण से उनकी उत्पत्ति हुई थी। तो वह जो पृथ्वी स्वरूपा माता सीता भरण करने के लिए ही हुआ था,
और यही इस समय हो भी रहा है। joins me on the broadcast, आनंद नीलकंठन, as we look at these, यही उम्मीद भी है। आनंद नीलकंठन, we didn't know if we'll see this in our lifetime. This is
Ramayana always have united India. From up to Lanka, it's actually the total concept of Akhand Bharat, cutting across language, cutting across religions, This is a very emotional moment for lots of people. And I am having my television series which is being telecast now in a prominent channel. Is that if you see every Indian language, the father of that language, whether you take Bengali, whether you take Malayalam, whether you take Kannada, whether you take Marathi, every Indian language starts with Ramayana.
Anandji and Abhishek Bachchan, Anil Ambani, they're all there at an Abhishek Bachchan, Anil Ambani, they're all there. The excitement, look at the smiles on everybody's faces. The excitement, look at the smiles on everybody's faces. Arun Govil also seen, and Arun Govil is someone who played Lord Ram for such a long time. We all are Acharya Nandita. Civilizational moment for Bharat as we see these images of VVIPs arriving and as we wait for images.
Yes, it's a beautiful moment. And before this, like you were talking on this, that when Lord Rama got married to Mata Sita, promise he made to Mata Sita was from today onwards, you are a part of me. So anyone who wants to get my my blessings has to take your name before me. So you are the Nareshwar form where the Shakti and the Shiva are in one form. So the same look at, and he's also, when I say feel, he's a social reformer. You know, he was a Bhil. He actually sat on a now, which he is trying to explain to everyone that we all are equal. It's an equalitarian society.
One, as Anand was saying, unites our entire country, and Nandita, as you was at the Hanuman Garhi temple, part of that Swachh मंदिर
में पहुंच गए हों जहां पे हम लोग सुनते थे अद्भुत कथाएं कि क्या पहुंच गए हों जहां पे हम लोग सुनते थे अद्भुत कथाएं और जहां तक हम विकास की बात करें जो था पहले और अब क्या हो चुका है और आई थिंक ये जो क्वालिटी को लेके और हमारे जो आइकॉन है राम
और ये भाव लगभग सभी का है और वो राम राज्य. Look at the ceremony that is happening today. There are to Manjira, to Mridang. So from Kashmir to the length and breadth of Bharat will be played the Mangal Dhwani.
Concept of Ram itself. Who is Ram? Every child knows. Concept of Ram itself. Who is Ram? Every child knows. So Ram in one definition is Tyag. Ram in the walk. The respect he shows to each and every person, the sacrifice he makes, take a grain of sand from there and he returns to his homeland. This thing for others, then the Ramraj has to truly follow.
In fact, that entire story is about respect for parents. We're talking Ram, Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram, and that is why he's talk about Shravan Kumar, and that is why when a son looks after thing, let's quickly cut across and listen into reactions that are coming in from the Shri Ram Nagri.
है कि राम लल्ला अपने घर अयोध्या में अपने भव्य मंदिर में आ रहे हैं.
तो जी पाना बहुत बड़ी बात है और हम वेट कर रहे हैं उस घड़ी की जब हम दीप जलाओ. जी पाना बहुत बड़ी बात है और हम वेट कर रहे हैं उस
परिवार को सबको इस पावन दिन की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. परिवार को सबको इस पावन दिन की बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. जय श्री राम.
आई थिंक कि हम सब के लिए बहुत ही बड़ा दिन है और मेरा सौभाग्य है कि मुझे यहाँ पे आने का मौका मिला और राम जी के दर्शन होंगे यहाँ पे. तो वी आर वेटिंग फॉर द मोमेंट जब हम सबको दर्शन मिलेंगे और बहुत ही.
मेरे अकेले की अनुभूति नहीं है, यहाँ आए हुए प्रत्येक की अनुभूति भी बहुत ही सेम है. आज वो आनंद है, वो परमानंद है कि राजा दिखेगा. यह आनंद का शब्दों में वर्णन नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि यहाँ का प्रत्येक व्यक्ति भावुक है इस समय और वो भावुकता शब्दातीत है.
बहुत इच्छा की 550 वर्ष की बेचैनी, उद्विग्नता.
बस मैं कुछ नहीं बोल सकता.
all wanted this for a very long time and it's a celebration and we are just very happy to be here, to be part of the celebration.
नाम में वो नाम ही श्री राम है. Of Arun Govil played Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram and played it so well that even today when you see him at the airport और बिल्कुल धन्य हो जाता है। ये कहा जाता है कि उनके पैर इस समय लोग अयोध्या नगरी के and people who are watching this
ceremony has done, not just to a community or to an area specific caste, the people who are related to Ram, who are related to Sanatan Dharma.
Is Astha, this is Vishwas. Former Prime Minister of India actually helped and assisted to that location. It's biting cold in Ayodhya, and Abhishek and Paulami will tell us more. It's biting cold in Ayodhya, and Abhishek and Paulami will tell us cold in Ayodhya. It's extremely windy, and yet you look at that cold in Ayodhya. It's extremely windy, and yet you look at that.
That how is the sentiment? And it's everywhere. We become an iconic moment for all of us. We are also quite lucky to be part of it, reporting live. But still, people were trying to, get into the premises, get into that nonsense. But, it is very much evident. You've had how Saina Nehwal, Akshay Kumar, they all are there. They all are participants. So that these VIPs, the invitees, will not only there to, watch this ceremony. After the consecration ceremony and when there will be a Maha-Aarti, after the consecration ceremony and when there will be a Maha-Aarti, there will be, environment it will create. And, the whole Ram Nagari is to be, celebrating it. And today in the evening, you are again going to be witnessing the Grand Deepotsav. Every ghat, every temple, every house, every square of it's a Diwali. For Ayodhya, it's Deepotsava. For Ayodhya, it is a moment. They are not living anymore.
And this emotion comes from your heart. We can feel it. And Paulami, not just Ayodhya. In truly realizing this civilizational moment, those who thought this was country, this moment is truly an eye-opener for Sri Ram unites our civilization. I want to bring Paulami into that conversation once again.
आज के लिए बहुत ही ये बहुत बड़ा क्षण मैं समझता हूँ।
बड़े क्षण के रूप में देखते हैं जो हम लोग क्षण के रूप में देखते हैं जो हम लोग अपनी भावी पीढ़ियों को लगातार बताते रहेंगे। चिरंजीवी को एक बार सुन लेते हैं। प्रोफेसर साहब
जी, यह सभ्यता और संस्कृति का पालन करना है। यह शास्त्र विधि उत्सृज्य वर्तते काम कारतः, ऐसा मनु ने
योग गुरु बाबा राम
दीजिए। वो अपवाद है। सब भारत के साधु संत महंत जिसको आज हम अपने आंखों से देख रहे हैं,
महाराज जी,
जिसको आज हम अपने आंखों से देख रहे हैं,
महाराज जी,
सनातन धर्म के मानने वालों के लिए हो नहीं सकता, ये कहा जा रहा है।
तो यह जो आयोजन हो रहा है भगवान के श्री विग्रह संस्कृति का पालन करना है, यह हम करेंगे तो हमारी पीढ़ी संस्कृति का पालन करना है, यह हम करेंगे तो हमारी पीढ़ी वजहों से ही सीखते हैं। सीखने का तरीका यही है कि ये करते हैं, बाद की पीढ़ी के लोग करते
और
हैं।
यही तो इतिहास भारत ने
करते हैं, बाद की पीढ़ी के लोग करते
और
हैं।
यही तो इतिहास भारत करेंगे। रामायण पर उन्होंने जितना लिखा है करेंगे, रामायण पर उन्होंने जितना लिखा है, has passed on from one generation to another, Shruti and before the written text came in, sir. Before the written text came in, sir.
From 300 Ramayanas, every Ramayana has been written to suit it is not dependent on any one version. So we have the Valmiki's celebrating the Murti of Ram.
Moment, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's aircraft has just landed at the Maharshi Valmiki International to the Sri Ram Mandir in Ayodhya. This is truly taking place. That is the Abhijit Muhurt Anushtans, very rigorous Anushtans for this moment.
Prime Minister has been following a very rigorous Anushtan of 11 days, which he started at Ram Mandir over there, which again has its own sages coming in from Ayodhya. So the Prime Minister has, of course, he's visited temples in Andhra Pradesh, in Kerala, in Tamil. In fact, went to the spot from where the Ram Setu is said to. Of course, he again profound association over there with the epic. He heard a recitation in Marathi from, of course, the priest, and then heard it in Malayalam. He heard it in Tamil as well from the very strict rituals himself in terms of chanting, learned through various seers who've written these chants, and then of course he's been normally in terms of his public functions, and of course his
in the morning the Prime Minister would chant these mantras given for several years: Godan, Annadan, Vastradan, Gau Seva. The significance of the Yam Niyam.
The Pran Prathishtha is done. Anyone who does that Pran Prathishtha has to forge for the last 11 days. One has to sleep on the floor on a kusha grass blanket or drink only water. So Honorable Prime Minister decided to stay Gayatri Mantra, which is like Om Dashrath Vidmahe Sita Val. This mantra is actually Brahma Muhurat. This mantra has to be chanted. And in the afternoon time there. So that time also it has to be chanted. So Prime Minister Modi, Honorable Prime Minister, has been following. Yes. And you're touching the murti, which will eventually turn into an purification is very important. Jat Pinde Tat Brahmande. So your pind has to be as rigorous niyams have to be done. So every rome, every cell in your body is pranas that are coming in. And when the moment when you surrender, and when you're actually, in many lifetimes your body forms can change, but your eye shape or your the yajman.
I want to describe for a moment these images on our television screen. These Ram Lalla's idol, for decades and decades and decades at the Sri Ram temple, when that murti was taken for Nagar Brahman, installed along with the Achal Murti, equal devotion to both. The Achal Murti से जिस आदर स्नेह और भक्ति भाव से उस भ्रमण के लिए भी ले जाई जाएगी, ये भी तय है।
किसी भी मूर्ति की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा होती है तो सबसे पहले उसका अग्निउत्तारण करते हैं। आसपास के जो क्षेत्र हैं उसमें भ्रमण कराया जाता है। उससे क्या है, मूर्ति को बनाते समय कलाकार छैनी हथौड़े का प्रयोग करता है जाता है, और अग्निउत्तारण के बाद जब यह मूर्ति और प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के लिए जो 5-7 दिन का कार्य अभी चला है के द्वारा उसमें देवता का आधान करता है। जो देवता का आधान, तो श्रुति अर्थात वेद में कहा गया है कि देवता बनकर आप देवता की शरीर में देवत्व का आधान नहीं होगा, और जब तक हम स्वयं देवता नहीं बनेंगे।
प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने 11 दिनों तक
तो कैसे लगता है इंसानों को यहाँ तक बुला।
फिल्म अभिनेता जैकी श्रॉफ को आपने देखा, उससे पहले आलिया भट्ट और रणबीर कपूर। दुनिया में किसी भी क्षेत्र से हो, लेकिन ये आस्था है जो आप के आगे, जिन्होंने हमारे पूरे देश को एक सूत्र में पिरोया। वो मोटरकेड, वो काफिला जब श्री राम जन्मभूमि मंदिर पहुंच, along with रणबीर कपूर and आलिया भट्ट, सभी को एक घंटी दी जाएगी जब the Prime Minister's efforts through the past 11 days at the venue. Whether it's the film industry or our scientists or our diplomats and Indian Air Force helicopters will sharp petal, truly divya and bhavya.
It is not a country that has been always our culture throughout the histories across the country, and you can see that the maximum number of villages are named Ramachandran, Ramamurti, a lot of things, a lot of
named after Lord Ram or our civilization Bharadwaj.
कैसा लग रहा है राम लला?
किस तरह की भावना?
राम लला के रूप में वही लता जी का वो गाना याद आता है बार बार। वो प्रेम की मूर्ति है, मर्यादा के, तो सारे भाव आ रहे हैं मन में। कमिटमेंट जो प्रजा के प्रति, ये सब कुछ मर्यादा में ही है। जित इतिहास मुलायम सिंह जी के कार्यकाल में कितने ही कार सेवकों के लिए, और केवल आस्था है मन में,
मान भी है और मन में करुणा भी है। एंड look at how Nitish of VVIPs who continue to arrive for the Mi-17 helicopter of the Indian Air Force. Narendra Modi has taken this from the Maharshi Valmiki International Airport to that special Dharma. Have waited 500 years and more for this image. As we look at this image, I want to bring in Sai Swarupa Iyer, Association Mandir Pran Prathishtha. What's the emotion that goes through your heart at this point, Sai Swarupa ji?
Because I'm joining from Bangalore. I think the same can be said about many cities.